We need to come up with ideas that are going to change the world.
To unlock the creative spark.
It's about bringing this complete, unexpected perspective together.
Help us to make creativity flourish in our future generations. Join us on our journey.
Hi, I'm Carlos Laoz, Marketing Director, Kia Europe. Welcome to the Kia Creativity Drive. So, why creativity? What does it have to do with us at Kia? Everything. It drives everything we do, influences every decision we make, because it is rooted in our brand purpose. At Kia, we believe movement inspires ideas, and that is why we create the space for you to get inspired, and more time to bring ideas to life. This is demonstrated in the EV6, a bold, original and inventive product that strikes a balance between contrasting elements. The sportiness of a fastback, the compact stance of a hatch, the raw strength of a rally car. Built on our new electric global modular platform, allows you to drive over 510 kilometers on a full charge and accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers in just 3.5 seconds with the EV6 GT. We didn't stop there. The space inside the EV6 is just as inspiring. With seats made from recycled PETs and vegan leather, and the total amount of recycled material in the interior is the equivalent to 100 empty plastic water bottles. The EV6 is a symbol of our commitment to sustainability and creativity at all levels. But we believe creativity is under threat. Studies show that most adults are 96% less creative than a 5-year-old. Why? It is down to the way we are taught and learn as we grow up. This is a real issue. Our futures will all depend on further generations of designers, creators, and innovators to solve new problems in original ways. That is why we are here, to raise awareness and start the journey to foster creativity so that it becomes recognized to be as important as literacy in children's learning. We brought a diverse group of inspiring minds together to find a solution in a 2-day hackathon. Let's meet a few of them now.
I am Nathalie Bucher. I am a color and material designer for Kia. It's so interesting how colors and materials can influence the way we feel.
I'm Lucy McRae. I'm a science fiction artist and body architect. My role as an artist is to interpret the fringes of culture and to disrupt.
I'm Marcel Sebastian, and I'm a senior exterior designer for Kia. Inspiration is everywhere. It's around us. It's basically what we experience and how we react to that.
My name is Dr. Merritt Moore. I'm a quantum physicist and professional ballet dancer. The next generation, in order to survive, is going to need creativity more than ever.
My name is Daniel Juncker. I'm working at Kia as a vehicle dynamics engineer. I think creativity is the motor that drives evolution forward.
I am Nelly Benayoun, and I am a designer of experiences. I get thrilled about everything, and I have like a deep curiosity for everything around me.
Curiosity, imagination, and abstraction are the main drivers of creativity.
It's the step of coming up with the actual idea, that little spark in your head that throws the rest of the process into gear.
Movement is a big source of inspiration for me.
I find it is the most raw, authentic way of expressing myself.
Movement is critical in what I do, and it's always about the body and how the body will be influenced by science and technology in the future.
I think the problem is that we are focused too much on a result. But it's not about the result, it's about the way how to get there.
I think it's very important to foster creativity in younger people, to make them interested in solving the problems that we have.
It will lead us to a more healthy society.
So I'm extremely thrilled to be a part of the hackathon. and to actually, for all of us to challenge each other in our ideas, to think critically from the collision of all these minds together. Be bold, be ambitious, and never ever give up.
Our partners, Hyper Island, help shape, design, and run the hackathon from their school in Stockholm, where we go now to understand more about who they are, how they led the teams, and how the 2 days went.
Hyper Island is a creative business school with vocational training, master programs, and bespoke programs for kinds of organizations and businesses.
As the creator, designer, and facilitator of hackathons for over 10 years, I have seen firsthand the magic and the impact that hackathons can create. So the challenge for this hackathon is perhaps one of the most important challenges of today. How can we embed creativity into young people's lives as deeply as we embed literacy?
For this hackathon, we have limited it to 3 teams with 4 people each. We'll have some creative people from inside Kia, some educational specialists, and then we'll have a set of hand-picked, really experienced creative people from education, from science, from culture, from different walks of life. And then we'll look at that mix, and we've tried to put together really dynamic teams with a great diversity of experiences and backgrounds and skills.
So the specific structure of the Kia Hackathon is of course adapted to our remote online environment. It's really tailored and curated around the challenge and the participants involved. And it's a 2-day experience working across multiple timelines across our planet in order to facilitate a remote and online collaborative experience that can also be documented and turned into a real platform for change.
Big, warm welcome to the Kia Hackathon, all of you across the globe. We have 12 drivers, 3 teams, 2 days, 1 challenge. Are you ready?
Creativity matters to us, and it's at the very core of our brand. And it's through creativity that those new ideas and those new concepts are all brought to life. By now, you're probably all starting to realize the important role you will be playing in coming up with solutions that could help foster creativity in children's learning.
Team number 1, here you are. Merit, Daniel, Cherry, and Christopher Robin. Team number 2, Rita, Rano, Lucy, and Marcel. And then team 3, we have Nelly, Danielle, Natalie, and Mr. Shai.
For me, it's about being original, and it's about really challenging everything that is being asked.
What frustrates me so much in the education system is we're taught just like how to answer questions. Like I've done a lot of school, but I don't think anyone really taught me how to ask good questions.
If we prioritize creativity or equalize it with literacy, that it is so powerful it will disrupt politics, government, leadership in the future.
When kids are young, they have tremendous amount of creativity. Only 2% will become creative people. Just imagine the world if this 2% was 4% or 6% or 10%.
I was super exhausted yesterday, but also very energetic, and I had a really good sleep, and I couldn't really wait for starting now.
It all has to fit in 10 minutes.
I wonder if this idea is big enough, bold enough, provocative enough, disruptive enough.
We have to narrow down and explain the idea correctly so the judge can relate to those ideas.
I disagree. We need to come up with ideas that are going to change the world.
I mean, it's no harm being a tree trunk, Daniele. I'm a tree trunk as well, but thank God we have a palm tree in this team.
As usual, Sherry's doing the work. We're goofing off.
I'm not the creative person in this group, but
yes, you are.
I'm getting excited about becoming more of a disruptor.
Yes.
Should we just start prototyping just to get something more tangible?
If we focus on the essence, in my opinion, we almost have it.
Sweet, I'm impressed.
Something's happening here.
I think that's good, Marcel, that the documentary comes first, sets the tone, gives the evidence.
Okay, we're done.
Welcome back. The panelists here. Our drivers are here. The presentations are as ready as they are, but we're gonna hear them now. 3, 2, 1, starting clock.
If you put these all three together, you have the sweet spot, and that would be...
Futurama, the future of creativity.
The problem in the classroom is that we're all taught how to answer questions. What we want to focus on for the 10 to 13-year-olds is how they can learn how to ask good questions.
And you kind of infuse the idea, the questions into their head and start igniting that spark so they start thinking about issues, problems, just general questions.
With your idea, is there a role for teachers? Do we need them?
I think teachers need to ignite that spark and letting that thinking engine start running.
A big hand for group 1. Good job. Team number 2.
We asked ourselves, why are so many current school systems reducing a focus on creativity? And this, no doubt, leads us to a less creative society. This is our solution, a year-long project that we have named SEED. The important thing is to see creativity as key to a healthier society, more student engagement, and better learning.
Can you explain which kind of creativity work you think of?
We see creativity as a bandwidth from experimentation, dance, theatre, making. There is no definition. So it's very much like throwing everything into a petri dish and seeing how that grows.
Thank you. Team 2.
Let's go to team 3.
Creativity is actually like in the emotional intelligence.
Forget about your brief. Forget about this A and B thinking. This is all completely passé.
So we ended up with this slogan, from the guts to the sun.
So later on, they will learn how to inspire a future that is more pluralistic, more diverse, and more fluid-minded.
Why are you so sure that creativity is in the emotional intelligence?
Science shows that creativity really comes from awareness, and awareness connects to our way of emotionally understand the world around us.
Oh my gosh, what an incredible 2 days. What an amazing bunch of crazy individuals from all sorts of wonky time zones.
Sayonara, thank you, and goodbye.
It was an amazing creative sprint. Such spirit and energy from everyone. I'm pleased to introduce my colleague Gregory Guillaume, Vice President of Design at Kia Europe, who will reflect on the ideas the teams came up with and his personal creative journey.
It was a real pleasure. In fact, I felt really honored to be part of this creative hackathon, because this project has relevance for me. I remember starting school when I was 6, and the teacher asking all pupils what we wanted to become when we grew up. I answered in French, dessinateur, someone who draws, because drawing and cars were my 2 passions. But by the time I was 16, I had forgotten about this and later entered business school so that I could get a proper job. But as you can see though, I did manage to find my way to the job my young self dreamed of. And I look at my 2 boys, and I want them to find their passions, to be given the opportunity and tools to keep exploring their own creativity and not have it taken away. I believe all children deserve that. So I was totally absorbed by this initiative and what the hackathon teams explored and presented. Many great ideas, and it was really hard to decide which one to go with. As Carlos mentioned earlier, we partnered with Hyper Island to make this act come to life. And I'm joined by my fellow panelist and creative director from there, Oscar Elfner.
Hi, Gregory. What an amazing 2 days. So many different perspectives and such a show of creativity. It's been really hard to choose one idea. The ideas were so diverse. I mean, the first idea really challenged the education system. They completely flipped the thinking around that you shouldn't only sit on the answer, but you should actually be the one asking more and more questions.
The power of questions, that's great.
I think this was the strongest initial idea.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I've thought how cool it would be to have an education system that assesses your questions and not your answers.
The second team were totally different. They were much more focused on how we create a momentum for change, how we can start the movement growing, how we start by planting seeds, as they described it.
Above all, they showed importance of how to kind of launch an idea. They presented a really clear process, a structure for how to kind of make the idea alive, which I feel is so important nowadays, because sometimes you have a really good idea, but you don't have the idea of how to actually make it come alive.
They had the sort of ecosystem approach, which I think is interesting. So not just a tool, not just an app, but also documentary and this community.
True, there was the documentary part.
Group 3, wow, that was powerful.
Yeah, it was. I love that idea, and I think it's also very interesting to see that they chose to focus on the emotional intelligence and the importance of actually having a collective perspective on things. So I love that about how they make it human-centric.
There were a few things that they said, or quite a few things they said that really spoke to me. They talked about looking at things from different viewpoints, which you need to do to be creative.
I love that they went with the gut feeling, because it's with creativity and with the hackathons, it's not only about logic, it's about following your gut and your instinct.
That gut feeling, that always plays a very important role with me. Following my instincts, not letting too much rationality cloud my initial thoughts. In life as well as in the creative process, by the way. People are not encouraged or taught to do this. They're made to rationalize things and then make choices.
We had a great conversation about all the ideas and which to kind of go for and build on and prototype. And there were some things in all of these ideas that we liked. And if we could have chosen, we would have gone with a combination of all of 3 of them.
Exactly, and this is what we will do now. These great ideas will be used to create a prototype that can be tested in the real world, in schools and with kids.
The base and the core will be idea number 1. We loved their concept of flipping the notion of the importance of asking questions instead of having the answer. We feel that is crucial when you work with creativity and learning. And then we will add the layer of emotional intelligence and energy that was in idea number 3. And combine it with idea number 2's structured and well thought through process of how to deliver this to kids and youth in the world. What do you think about that, Gregory?
I'm delighted with what we achieved during these 2 days. What an awesome beginning, and it is really just the beginning. So, huge thanks to you, Oscar, our fellow panelists, and of course, the amazing hackathon teams. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gregory, Oscar, and all the teams from the hackathon. We now have a clear plan to ensure creativity is recognized to be as important as literacy in our children's learning. As we heard from the hackathon, knowing how to ask questions is the key to creative thinking. We will now take this great idea and create a prototype of it, which we will further test from September this year. We will share more information on the prototype design here on the Kia Inspiration Lab on June 7th. Do come back then and join in the movement. If you want to find out more about the Kia Hackathon, the teams involved, or take a closer look at the Kia EV6 in an immersive experience, please further explore the Kia Inspiration Lab. From all of us at Kia, Hyper Island, and our hackathon team, thank you and goodbye for now.
Kia, movement that inspires.